My name is TJ, and today we're taking a trip into a game called Devilated. Devilated is a game that's pure chaos from start to finish, and if you're into intense boss fights, bizarre weapons, and a good dose of dark humor and memes, then buckle up. I'm gonna show you why this is a must-play. Alright, let's start with the bosses. Now, I know we've all seen our fair share of boss fights, but imagine bosses that can change forms mid-fight and launch wave after wave of attacks and just refuse to stay down. Take this first guy for example. He starts off easy enough, and then suddenly he's shooting fireballs and sending minions like he's leading an army. And just when you think you've got him, boom, second form. Devilated bosses don't mess around, and every single one is a new kind of chaos. And then there's this guy. Like, look at this thing. You're dodging lightning, fire, who even knows what else, while trying to land a couple hits in. It's one of those try not to die moments, where if you're not laughing, you're probably crying. Devilated bosses keep you on edge, and honestly, that's half of the fun. Next, let's talk weapons. Devilated doesn't do anything halfway, especially when it comes to your arsenal. You start off with fists, maybe a sword, and before you know it, you're holding akimbo shotguns or a grapple hook or actual finger guns that are actual fingers that are actual guns. Yeah, they're basically shotguns disguised as hands with burst fire. And then there's the grappling hook I mentioned that lets you zip straight into enemies and insta-kill them. It's so over the top, it's honestly hilarious, but Devilated knows exactly what it's doing. The game gives you ridiculous tools because it wants you to go all out. Check out the shovel. Yes, a shovel. It's got a brutal melee attack that's way too satisfying. And if you're thinking, the hell is this? That's exactly what the game wants. Every new weapon is more absurd than the last, and that's part of the reason you keep coming back. You never know what you're gonna find next. One of the best things about Devilated is that it just doesn't care about being polished and perfect. Like, if you're used to clean guided tutorials and scripted events and your mini-map telling you where to go, then this game is gonna shake you up a little bit. Look, if there's one thing Devilated respects, it's letting players figure it out themselves. It's basically a love letter to old school shooters, where you either adapt to the madness or end up restarting your saves a lot. But if you're a fan of old school vibes, you're gonna feel right at home here. Like, it's raw, it's rough, and the game doesn't really pull any punches depending on the difficulty you choose. Now here's where Devilated really shines. Replayability. I think there's about 30 levels and more than 100 weapons to find and pick and choose from. So every single run has you facing different boss combinations, picking up weird power-ups, finding new weapons. One minute you're wielding a sword, and next minute you've got an MP40 that shoots the word hate in all caps. Every session has a new setup, new gear, and new ways to tackle the game. Plus, you've got New Game Plus, and every time you think you've got it down, Devilated is gonna pull something else out of its bag of tricks just to keep things interesting. This isn't one of those games you play once and move on. It's a game you'll want to revisit because the chaos is ever evolving. To wrap things up, Devilated just knows how to have fun. Like, this game has its own brand of humor that makes it impossible not to laugh. Your character has lines like,
"Just burn back in real quick in case I die. Alright, thanks."
and enemies look like whatever that thing is. The game doesn't take itself too seriously, which makes it that much better. Each level, each boss fight, each weapon is just one more example of how Devilated is a game that's here to entertain. It's like the devs were like, let's throw in every crazy idea we've ever written down, and let's see what happens, and just somehow it all works. Like a crazy fever dream. So if you're in the mood for something that's equal parts chaotic and hilarious, Devilated is definitely for you. Bosses that keep you on your toes, weapons that surprise you every time, a main character that has more stolen one-liners than anything else, and enough weirdness to make every run unforgettable. I want to thank you guys for watching. Really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.